already.
Joining me now is Mr. Apurva Chandra, Information and Broadcasting Secretary. Mr. Chandra, thank you very much for joining us on CNBC TV18. Give us a sense of how India would be promoting its economic potential, tourism potential, cultural potential to the world over the next 1 year.
Good afternoon, Parikshit. India has assumed the presidency of the G20 today, and India would like to show to the world the way India has developed over the past so many years. And that is why the meetings, more than 200 meetings are going to be held in about 55 cities around the country. And then these are not cities which are large metros only like Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata and Hyderabad, Bangalore, but locations where the world would get to see the development which has taken place, not just in the large cities, but across the country, and which will showcase to the world the tourism potential also of the country. And then each such location will also have its own cuisine, its own dances, art and culture, which will be showcased to the delegates who are coming and through them to the entire world. Some instances of such cities, their meetings would be held in places like Lakshadweep, like Hampi, Khajuraho, or the Run of Kutch. So these are locations which we would like to showcase to the world, and all such locations will have this potential.
Right. Mr. Chandra, give us a sense of what's going on behind the scenes in terms of organizing an event of this magnitude. You have stressed earlier that G20 on this scale has not happened before, neither in China nor in Indonesia. So give us a sense of the kind of coordination that's happening on a day-to-day basis to organize the G20 across 55 cities over the next 1 year.
In China, when the G20 was held, it was held in 14 cities, apart from the venue of the main summit. And in Indonesia, which held the G20 summit just this year, before India has taken over, it was held in 25 locations. And Indonesia, as I'm told, also did a stupendous effort. But when you compare it to India, when we are holding it in 55 cities across the country, it is a humongous effort. And because when we hold an event of this scale in so many cities, we have to be confident about the infrastructure for holding the summit, the meetings per se, the hospitality arrangements, the stay arrangements, the transport arrangements, the traveling, and all these have to be taken care of. So it is not just an event of Government of India. We have to involve the local government, the state government, and it is also a triumph of federalism of the country that we would be holding an event of this scale across all the states and of the country, and showcasing the development which has taken place across the broad spectrum and not just in the large cities.
Right.
Then during
Chandra,
this summit,
this
the
event,
transport arrangements and others.
Right. Mr. Chandra, the G20 is taking place at a time of great geopolitical uncertainty, economic uncertainty. There is a lot of expectation from India to build consensus around critical issues such as climate finance, debt relief, also strong and resilient supply chains of food, fertilizers, and energy. So how would India approach these issues and try and build consensus among G20 nations and the global South?
The Honorable Prime Minister, through his article which he has written today, and across all the media it has been published today, he has given his vision of what India would seeks to achieve during the G20. And I think the logo itself, which has the logo, the motto, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, which is one earth, one family, one future, I think that embodies what India looks forward in this event. As the Prime Minister said, that we will be discussing a lot about the climate agenda, then that availability of the essentials, whether it is fertilizer, whether it is food, it should be irrespective of state borders and irrespective of the differences, political differences, but because these are essential to human life. And that is what India would be striving for through this G20 summit.
Right. In terms of outreach programs, so for example, we saw the first leg of programs today where you involved almost 75 universities across the country. We believe there will be selfie competitions. On the business side, there are many B2B business meetings that are going to take place. There is a startup agenda as well. So give us a sense of the side events that will take place along with the official meetings over the next 1 year.
Yes, this time, for the first time, because India has, the host country is allowed to take up some tracks which are different from the regular tracks. And this time India has taken up the track of, as you mentioned, the startup track, because, and also on the disaster management, that is another track which has been taken up this time at the behest of the host country, which is India. Now, startups is an area where we would like to showcase what we have done across the world. We are having 106 unicorns, more than 80,000 startups that are registered there, and we are doing tremendously well in this particular field, and we would like to showcase the youth of our country. Another area in the business sphere which we would like to showcase to the world is our UPI systems and payment systems. And today, as you know, that the RBI is launching the test trial run of the e-rupee also, which probably is one of the first across the world. I don't think any major economy has done that, or any central bank of a major country has done that. So these are again showcases to the world, and UPI and the way seamless transactions, the financial transactions take place in our country. That is something which is, if it can be emulated across the developing world, across Africa, across Asia, and almost anywhere in the world, it is one of the finest financial system which one can have seamlessly and without cost. And that is something which I think India would like to showcase during this G20 presidency.
Right. You spoke about the pilot project for the digital currency. Mr. Chandra, when it comes to cryptocurrencies, this is something that the Prime Minister's office has been monitoring very closely, and we are concerned about how the regulatory framework evolves around the world. Do you think this will give an opportunity to India to have some consensus around cryptocurrency regulations during the G20 presidency?
Cryptocurrency is a topic which is being discussed throughout the world, and as we have seen recently, that cryptocurrency has its own dangers when the FTX exchange has collapsed, and it has led to a wipeout of almost $3 trillion of international crypto value. In India also it is being debated, and I'm sure it will be discussed during the G20. As regards advertising of crypto, we have put a ban on such sort of, we discourage advertising either on crypto or on games of betting.
Right. Just to ask you about some of the issues that India would like to showcase to the world during the G20, digital infrastructure, India's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. Do you think this will be showcased to some of the developing nations and to the developed world as well?
Digital infrastructure for sure, because that is the way our Aadhaar, because Aadhaar again is a unique innovation, administrative innovation of India, which no other country has a record of 140 million, 1.4 billion people, and through that we are able to identify anyone at the blink of an eye, and the transactions, whether they are financial or they take place almost instantaneously. So that is something which can be showcased, and through this transfer of subsidy itself, we have saved so much of money. From my experience in Ministry of Petroleum, when I was there, kerosene subsidy and LPG subsidy used to be such huge issues, but now there is no leakage at all, and we are saving almost 25,000 crores a year just on those subsidies. So it is a huge saving and a gift to the world. And COVID-19 also, again, right, because there it is a digital infrastructure, yes. The COVID app. Okay.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. So, COVID app, as I was saying, it is one of the most fantastic applications that when you go for a vaccine, and by the time you come out, you already have a certificate in your hand, and a record of 2.1 billion vaccines which were administered during this period, it could just not have been kept manually. So that is the kind of efficiency which the digital infrastructure of India has brought about, and we have been able, this is what we would like to show to the world, that this has led to huge developments, and this is going to be beneficial not just to India but to the entire world, and India has a lot to teach the world in this particular area.
All right, Mr. Chandra, thank you very much for summing up India's G20 priorities and what India would like to showcase to the world during the next 1 year. Thanks once again for being with us on CNBC TV 18.